my beautiful bookish friends. It is April. Today we are here to do a very spooky book haul. I have horror books here. I've got spooky thrillers here that I am very much looking forward to. I think I've got 10. So let's dive in. The first book I want to share with you is something that was sent to me by Red Hook Books. They kindly sent this over to me. This is the 7 Visitations of Sydney Burgess. Possession is an addiction, is what it says at the top. And this is a home invasion story. We follow a woman named Sydney who has spent a lot of time getting her life together. She has a young son, and things are good. She's at home one night and she opens the door, her front door, and a masked intruder knocks her unconscious for a little bit. And she barely escapes. She gets to the police station. She has survived this invasion, and they start to tell her a very different story of what happened in her home, because the intruder that came in is now lying dead in her home, and she doesn't remember it going down like that. And this begins a sequence of events that she is trying to grapple with. It sounds like it might be a home invasion in the literal sense, or a home invasion of her soul, because she might be being possessed. It sounds incredible. And as soon as I read the synopsis of this and also the cover, look at how terrifying, I knew I wanted it. And so they kindly sent this over. Let's read the first line of the 7 Visitations of Sydney Burgess. The first visitation, number 1. The man in my house is wearing a mask. I love that for a first line, because, well, for myself, I have this fear of home invasion. And so anything with home invasion in it pulls me in. I also love possession stories. Like, I have really high hopes for this book. Is it a 5-star first line? Well, maybe. More like 4. More like 4. Especially considering COVID. We're all wearing masks anyway, so maybe it's just, you know what I mean? Anyway, it looks really good. The next book was kindly sent to me by Pegasus Books, and this is the haunting season. And this has 8 ghostly tales for long winter nights. I am planning to wait until December to start reading these, and it's going to be kind of my advent calendar, if that makes any sense. There's a whole tradition in history where people used to read each other ghost stories on, I think, Christmas Eve. It was a whole thing, and so I am adopting that into my own Christmas season. So this has obviously 8 tales, and they are from the following authors, and some of them are incredible. Bridget Collins, Natasha Pulley, I've never read, Kieran Millwood Hargrave, who wrote, I think, The Mercies, Elizabeth McNeil, Laura Purcell, who I really enjoy, she wrote The Silent Companions, Andrew Michael Hurley, Jess Kidd, Imogen Hermes Goer. So really, really incredible authors. All right, so it says, taking you from the frosty fens to the wild Yorkshire moors, to the snow-covered grounds of a haunted estate, to a bustling London Christmas market, these mesmerizing stories will capture your imagination and serve as your indispensable companion to cold, dark nights. I could not pass this up. When they reached out to me, I was like, yes, please. So we'll read the first line from the first story, which is A Study in Black and White by Bridget Collins. Perhaps if Morton had not stopped to mop his brow in that precise spot, he might never have noticed the black and white house. Not a 5-star first line, but it sounds so good. Like, I cannot tell you how eager I am to pick this one up. The next book is another horror book called Lakewood by Megan Giddings. This book I found at a Value Village, and I was so happy because I've heard very good things about this. This is about Lena Johnson, who is a Black millennial. She has to drop out of college because I believe her grandmother dies, and she discovers the extent of the debt that her family has generated over, I guess, a few years. And she takes a very strange job in Michigan. So what this job is she has to participate in a secret research study for science. And they are things like an eye drop that makes brown eyes blue, medication that could cure dementia, and she puts herself through all of this testing, or she's exploited, really. I think this really explores the history of medicine in the Black community and how doctors and scientists really did take advantage and just did some horrible things to Black people, and she's exploring that in this book, and I think it sounds really good and really disturbing. So that is Lakewood. Let's read the first line and see what we think. Number 1. Lena's grandmother's final instructions were that the funeral should be scheduled for 11 a.m., but would start at 11:17 when everyone would be there and seated. I like that. Like, I feel like you can learn a lot about her grandmother in that first line. I like it for sure. We are moving right along to a lot of thrillers. The first thriller that I have to share with you is the 5th in the Junalina series. This is by Lars Kepler. I am back into the series. My plan is to read the entire series by the end of the year, or at the very least, the books that have been released. I think they're coming out with another one in the series in January, so I'll have to wait for that. But this is the 5th, and this is Stalker by Lars Kepler. I don't want to know too much about it because I don't want it to ruin the 4th book for me, but this is about Junalina and the Swedish crime unit who gets a video of a woman in her home. And then just a few hours later, they discover that she has been brutally murdered. Soon after that, the killer sends another tape to the police, and he is basically taunting them. They write such creepy books that make me nervous and actually make me feel like I can't turn out the light at night. Like when I'm reading them at night, I have a really hard time. So it's a good sign. It's a good sign. So, okay, let's read the first line. It wasn't until the first body was found that anyone took the video seriously. I love that for a first line. Yes, 5 stars. Next is a book that was sent to me by HarperCollins, and this is coming out at the very end of the year. It comes out on December 28th. It is My Darling Husband by Kimberly Bell. This is another home invasion story. Again, I read the synopsis, saw home invasion, and I was like, yes, please send that my way. This follows a married couple, Jade and Cam. They have 2 kids. They have a beautiful home. Everything's great in their lives until a masked home invader arrives, comes into their home, and threatens them. Cam has to get ransom money, and Jade is sitting there learning via the masked intruder that she barely knows her husband, that they might not have the money, that her husband has been harboring all of these secrets, and she's learning about her husband through this person who's in there and might kill her. It sounds so creepy. I have a few Kimberly Bells on my shelves, and I have never read her, and I don't know why. I think I might start here. It just sounds good. All right, let's read the first line of My Darling Husband, The Interview. Juanetta Moore, Mr. Lansky, thank you for speaking with me today and sharing your story with Channel 7 Action News. That is not a 5-star first line, but it sounds good, doesn't it? Yes. Okay, we've got a few books, I think, that I got from, I think one of them I got from the dollar store, and most of them are from Value Village. This is A Stranger on the Beach by Michelle Campbell. And this follows a woman named Caroline. She has moved, I think, to a beach house, and it's stunning, absolutely stunning. And she's finally in a place in her life where she's very happy, and she discovers that her husband has been lying to her. There is money disappearing from their accounts. Probably her husband has something to do with that. And there's a stranger on the beach, and she approaches the stranger, who is a man, and they end up having a relationship. She leans on him kind of randomly. They end up having an affair, and she thinks, okay, that was very stupid, a stupid little fling. I'm mad at my husband. This is what I did. And then this stranger on the beach becomes completely obsessed with her and starts stalking her, and it becomes this very strange game. And that sounds like fun and very creepy. All right, let us read the first line. Before the storm, there was a stranger on the beach. That's the first line. Not a 5-star first line, but still sounds fun. I think this would be a really good one to read, like moving into the summer. Okay, we are moving right along to Little Disastrous by Sarah Vaughan. And this is about two friends. There is a stay-at-home mother of 3 with so much patience. She's just this like perfect mother. That is how her friends have always seen her. And then one moment changes absolutely everything. There are dark thoughts and secrets that surface, and we have these friends who are questioning everything about one another. There's not a lot on the back. I don't know what it was exactly that like totally drew me into this, but I think it was the name Sarah Vaughan, honestly, because she wrote Anatomy of a Scandal, and I remember that being a really big book. In any case, let's read the first line, prologue. The cry builds. I don't think that's a 5-star first line at all, but could be really good. I am open-minded. Next is a tiny little book that was kindly sent to me by Tor. This is coming out at the end of October, I want to say. This is Comfort Me with Apples by Catherine M. Valente. And this is about a woman who thinks everything in her life is perfect, perfect, perfect. Her husband is fantastic. She loves her little life. But her husband comes back from his business trips, and when he comes back, she starts to suspect him. It sounds really strange and also really, really good. So we shall see. It's tiny. I should probably read this in October, really. Let's read the first line. Ambrosia. The following agreement is made this first day of the first month between the members of the Arcadia Gardens Homeowners Association, Erin known as the Association, and the title holders of 1 Cedar Drive, Erin after known as the Residents. What? I don't even know what that means. I'm kind of intrigued and want to pick it up like right away. Anyway, it does look good. Two more, both from Value Village. Next is The Stranger in Our Home by Sophie Draper. And this is about a woman who returns home after her stepmother dies unexpectedly. She grew up in the rural English countryside, and this beautiful home is there. That just draws me in right away. And they didn't get along whatsoever. Caro and her stepmother Elizabeth didn't get along. She takes this moment as an opportunity to kind of reconnect with this woman who has passed away, maybe sort through some stuff from her childhood. When she goes through her stepmother's belongings, she finds a lot of memories that she wishes that she didn't have to unearth and go through herself. And in particular, there was a story that her stepmother used to always tell her about 2 little girls and the terrible thing they do. And she gets stuck there. There is a snowstorm. She gets stuck there overnight, and she starts to go through her childhood and really dive into why her stepmother hated her so much. This sounds incredible. So let's read the first line, prologue. I am floating between two worlds, the living and the dead. Oh, that sounds good. Is it a 5-star? It's like 4, 4, but it sounds really great and honestly perfect for this time of year. Maybe November? Last but not least is Wendy Walker's book, Don't Look for Me. This one is a little bit confusing. It is about a woman named Molly who gets into a man's car one evening. There is a storm. A man in a truck offers her a ride to town, and by his side there is a little girl who reminds her of a daughter that she lost a long time ago. And so she gets in, he locks the doors, and he drives off. Since then, her own daughter, Nicole, really begins to wonder about what happened to her mother. The search has ended. The police aren't looking anymore. And nothing about that disappearance made any sense to her. And so she returns to that small town that she grew up in where her mother disappeared. Everyone around her seemed really eager to help her. All of the locals, even the police are really open with the information that they give her. And then secrets start to reveal themselves. And she comes closer to the truth about that night and realizes that suddenly she herself might be in danger. It does sound good, also extremely complicated. So we shall see. Let's read the first line. Day 1. The sky grows dark as I drive. Not a 5-star first line, but could be really good. Those are all of the thrillers and horror books that I have gotten my hands on lately. Let me know in the comments below if you have picked up any spooky books for this time of year that you are eager to read. I'd love to know, and I will chat with you very, very soon. Bye!